Hey there, Luma. This is the right slanting diagonal rib stitch pattern, and I'm Denise from LumaHead.com, here to bring you another great stitch that, even though it's not 100% reversible, you have to admit this backside is nicely textured and very pretty. All right, heads up, this is a stitch pattern only video, so there's no cast on or cast off, because it's the project and not the stitch pattern that determines how we start and end the project. Another thing, this is right slanting, but say your project calls for a left slanting diagonal rib, then you should purchase the pattern bundle at lumahead.store, which will include left and right slanting, as well as the flat version to do things like scarves, or the in the round version for things like socks and hats. All right, without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start with row 1 with 3 purl stitches and 5 knit. I'm going to be using the U or flat version of the knit stitch. I'm knitting on a large gauge loom with worsted weight yarn. So let's start with that first purl stitch. So we're going to take the working yarn, put it under the existing loop. With the hook from the top, we're going to scoop up the yarn to create a new loop. Take the existing loop off the peg, put the new one on, and pull your yarn. That's my first purl stitch, and here's my second. I'm going to scoop up, create that new loop. Take the old loop that's on the peg off of the peg, and I'm going to put this new loop on it. That's purl 2, and here's my third purl stitch, again creating that new loop. Take the existing one off, put the new one on, and pull. And I'm going to follow that with 5 knit stitches, which, by the way, here I'm doing a flat version where you just lay the yarn over the existing loop and take that bottom loop over the top and knit off. And I like the flat in this direction. You can again use the U wrap if you're more comfortable. And then I'm going to repeat my 8 stitches 2 more times. You can repeat them as necessary for your project. When you're finished with that, you're ready for row 2, and there we're going to purl 1, knit 5, and then finish with 2 purl stitches. So let's get to it. Here we are on the other end, because we're knitting flat, and we start with that 1 purl stitch, which we're going to follow by 5 knit stitches. Now in this direction, I tend to like to use the U wrap version of the knit stitch, so I half wrap and take the bottom loop over the top and knit off. Then I'm going to do those 2 purl stitches, and you guys already know how to do purl stitches. So there's 1, and here is my second. And then once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and repeat those 8 stitches 2 more times for my project. You're going to repeat them as many times as is necessary for your project. Row 3 looks exactly the same, but now we're on the other end, because remember, we're knitting flat. So purl 1, knit 5, purl 2. And let's start with our first stitch, which is a purl. That's going to be followed by 5 knit stitches. And remember that it's just a preference of mine to use either the flat or the U. I use them interchangeably. Here I'm doing 5 U wrap knit stitches. You can use flat or true. And then I'm going to end with 2 purl stitches, and that's the 8 stitches in total. Now just repeat your 8 stitches as necessary, and when you're done with that row, you are going to then be ready for row 4. This time we're going to do 3 purl stitches and follow that with 5 knit stitches, just like you did on row 1. So you already know how to do those purls. Let's get 3 of them done. Here's my first purl, and remember, I'm on the other end of the knitting loom because I'm knitting flat. So here's 3 purl stitches. Now I'm going to do 5 knit, and I'm using the U wrap this time because I use them interchangeably. You use whichever one you want. The E-wrap will make this look very odd, so don't use that unless you're using chunky yarn. All right, there you go. Those are the 8 stitches, and now you're ready for row 5. For row 5, we're going to knit 4, purl 3, and then finish with 1 single knit stitch. All right, let's go rapid fire. Here are my 4 knit stitches. Again, I'm using the U-wrap version in this direction for this time, and then I'm going to do my 3 purl stitches. You guys are experts at this point, I'm sure of it. Here's my 3rd, and then I'm going to knit 1 more knit stitch. There you go. Now we're ready for row 6. On row 6, you're going to knit 2, purl 3, and then knit 3. So let's get to it rapid fast. Here's my 2 knit stitches. I'm then gonna do 3 purl stitches, and you should notice that purls tend to like being in clusters of 3 in this pattern, right? Yep. Then we're gonna end with 3 knit stitches, and once you've done that, you're ready for row 7. So we're almost done with this pattern. Before you go, make sure to like, comment, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe so you don't miss the next stitch pattern. All right, let's get to that row 7. This time we're going to knit 2, purl 3. Remember that bundle of 3 purls? Knit 3, and there you go. So here I'm doing my 2 knit stitches. I'm using the flat, and then I'm gonna do my 3 purls. You guys are experts. Here's my 3rd one, and then the last 3 are 3 knit stitches. So 1, 2, and 3, and now we're ready for the last row, which is row 8. This time we're going to do 4 knit stitches. Again, that bundle of 3 purl stitches, and then 1 knit stitch. All right, we're on the other side of the loom. Here are my 4 knit stitches. I'm going to then follow that with 3 knit stitches. I'm sorry, 3 purl stitches. And the last in that row is 1 knit stitch. And that's it, guys. That's the stitch pattern. All you have to do from this point on is repeat rows 1 through 8 as many times as is necessary for your project. All right, guys, hang tight. YouTube is going to show you videos they think you're going to like, and I'm sure I'm going to agree with them. All right, till next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and best of all, share this video if you like it, because I'm going to appreciate it very much.